From folklore and fairies
to monsters and mysteries, it came from the Maritimes. Hi everyone, welcome to It Came From The Maritimes, a podcast discussing Atlantic Canada folklore.
I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Evan, and today we have a mini maritime tale. Today's topic is the devilish delinquent known as Mateur. As a warning, this episode discusses alcohol abuse, mental illness, and death. So, there was a man from Meteghan who was known to have some magic to him. This man, who was born in 1848, named Mateur, was known as a dancer. But when you watched him dance, it was more than just a jig. His dancing was amazing, but if you took the time to watch his feet, you would see that they weren't human, but would turn into hooves. People obviously talked about it, which led to the realization that people had seen him doing the same thing at two places at the same time. People had seen him dancing in Meteghan and Church Point at the same time, with no explanation. Today this isn't a long drive, but 20 kilometers in the 1800s wasn't a short distance. Some said he had the ability to travel by taking a piece of birch bark and standing on it. It was seen to fly him as far as Boston. Some even said he could turn into a bear. With these powers and the hooves, people were sure that there was some evil magic to him. Some said he was possessed, some said that he was the Antichrist, and some said that he had sold his soul to the devil.
That's so interesting. I know there's quite a few folklore tales across different cultures in which the devil appears to a young woman on the dance floor and she only realizes it's the devil because she looks down and sees his hooves. So I didn't realize there was a Nova Scotia version of this folk story.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, the closest I know is the song "The Devil Went Down to Georgia." So maybe not quite the same thing.
Well, maybe this Mateur did make it all the way to Georgia. I mean, they saw him in Boston, so it's not that much further south.
Yeah. So what do we actually know about Cy? It's believed that his name was actually Celestin Trahan, born in Meteghan to Arthur Trahan and Rosalie Luce Doucet. He was a cobbler, but he was always poor. He was known to be an angry man who loved to drink, loved to gamble, and was known to shun the church. He eventually ended up in the Meteghan poorhouse, where those with mental illness were often placed at the time, and it was believed he was there due to rehab. He died in 1912, and it was said to be a contemporary of Jerome, who was another mysterious man in the area who we'll probably discuss at some point in the future.
Absolutely.
After he did die in 1912, no one ever did find any proof of his magic.
I do find it interesting that there's at least those two stories about very mysterious men in that area.
Yeah, it is. It's really interesting to see how it's concentrated together.
It is. That was a cool story.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us for this episode of It Came From The Maritimes. You can find us on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at It Came From The Maritimes, on X at ICFT Maritimes. And if you have any Atlantic Canada folklore you would like to see covered in future episodes, or any spooky encounters of your own, email us at itcameFromTheMaritimes@gmail.com. If you enjoy our podcast, please leave us a 5-star review. It helps people find us. Bye.
Thanks for listening.